All right, so we got ourselves another one here. So this is for the City of Palm Desert Public Library. So they want to freshen up their existing monument sign. They have a block structure and it has a 4-inch recessed area that has some sign in it now. And then they want to put like an oversized panel, which is just over 21 feet and almost 4 feet tall. It's a big boy. They want to put it on both sides and kind of oversize that so that way it kind of covers up that spot. So what looks to be a simple panel sign looks can be deceiving. It's actually got to, recess in and poke out and all that stuff. Plus it has to be stable because they don't want any seams. So it needs to be completely bondoed and look clean. And so as we know, you need to stabilize those seams, make it look good. So with that being said, we got ourselves quite a bit of work to get this kind of done right. So I just want to go over a couple things. It shouldn't be too bad for you guys though. But with that being said, let's get after it. So we're going to do lay of the land. So we have the face frame and we've got ourselves the wall frame. Since there's two double-sided, there's going to be 2 sets each. So watch the count. We got jiggies. These frames, unfortunately, are asymmetrical. So you do have a front side and a back side for both. So keep an eye out. Same thing. You have a front side jiggies and you got a back side jiggies for the wall frame. And then you have yourself your panels. So nothing too crazy there. So the main thing is I just want to put in your mind, center stage had a 2-piece frame to make it into one, but this is going to be more like K-pop foods, which is similar. So in order to get us out of that 4-inch recess pocket, let's go to the side view here. So the purple here would be the 4-inch recess pocket. I'm going to go ahead and do a 2 1/4-inch deep wall frame similar to K-pop that goes on first. And then that's going to give our supports. That's going to give our mounting system. And then that's going to start getting us out of that hole. And then we're going to, for stability and stuff, for like a 21-foot freaking giant panel, we're going to have a 3-inch deep frame for the face. So pretty simple there, though. Once you get these frames built, you should be good to go. The whole idea with the wall frame, though, is similar to K-pop, except on this one, the tabs that you guys used that sort of slid into the other face in order to fasten it together as one unit, these will be external because you're not going to really see them, and just the way this has to be constructed. So what you're going to do is rivet those onto the back frame and let them poke out, and then you'll see that you'll have actually an 1/8-inch gap top and bottom that the face frame is undersized to be able to slide in. And then instead of using keyhole slots and pucks and stuff, that would be for 21 feet. And as much as this thing's going to weigh, this is going to be a big beast. Trying to hit those targets would kind of be a pain in the booty. So the wall frame is just going to have 1x2 by 1/8-inch wall rectangle tubes that you're going to burn into the back frame to the wall frame. And then that's just going to stick out. And then it's just going to be simple. The fact that just the jigs and the frame on the backside of the face frame is actually just going to sit there and hold that up. So there'll be an 1/8-inch worth of space for them to kind of thread the needle and shove this in. And it's probably going to make a hell of a noise, and it's going to go scrape and then bonk against the wall frame. And then they're just going to go ahead and hit that up and nail it down, and then it'll just squish into place. Looks won't be a problem. You're not going to really see it. Plus, we're going to do all this hard work, but they're essentially looking at about a 2-year time frame on these panels, and then supposedly they're going to do something different. I don't know. But I think this is going to be pretty sicky. It's going to be a pretty awesome looking sign. They're probably going to keep it for a while because they're going to be like, ooh, that's dope. Anyway, so that's that. So you're going to go ahead and just make sure that you, like I said, you have the asymmetrical. So make sure you got your back with your back, your front with your front. So you're just going to weld this together. When you weld in that's your cut list up there, 4 3/4. You're going to got 1x2 by 1/8-inch. Got 12 of those, 6 on each side. You're just going to slide them into the frame after you get it all welded, and then burn it from the back side as best you can. Don't weld from the front side because you don't want interference, with the weld right here. If you weld on the front side, you don't want that because you want to be able to slide that and then have no interference from the face frame. Anyway, so do your best to get that burn in really well because it does support the weight of the sign in perpetuity for its whole life. It's just going to be sitting there going, I got you, fam. And so then that's it. So make that frame, rivet these guys on to the outside, different than the K-pop that was inside. And then for the face frame, Same thing, you're not going to worry about it. You can see where I brought these jigs down to give kind of reinforcement to the frame itself. So it's almost like 3/16. So each of those 1x2s, that's like its resting pad. So that'll support the weight of the face. And so speaking of the weight of the face, in a perfect world, it would be great to have like, you know, people coffin carry this thing once it's built, because you're going to have 3 pieces of almost, you know, full sheets of 1/8 on the face. It's going to be plenty heavy. So what would be cool is to have like basically pallbearers and have them, you know, support it sort of like this and carry it around. That being said, I understand that we don't have that many people working, and when you're dealing with like prep and stuff like that, even install, it's going to be more like having 2 people on the ends right here and carrying it like that. Problem is we have almost a foot of unsupported face here. So I didn't want this to get bent. I didn't want problems. I didn't want this to zipper and pull on that Lords and all that. So I made these little landing pads to help almost make handles to help support this flap. So that way when we move it around. So what you're going to do is your face frames are going to have these guys sticking out, and you have the slots here and here. So you're going to poke those through, and then you're going to take these landing pads here and here, and you're going to go ahead and weld them to the green around there. Excellent. But the main thing is you're going to make sure that you weld really well along the underside to the frame itself. Because what's going to happen at that point is when people lift from this end, it's going to put that weld in tension, and that's what you want. And then also where this guy bonks against the frame, this will be even with the face frame here, and then you can really Lords that up really well, but that will be in compression on the top. And then also because this will be Lords really well to the face. And if you could throw in some safety rivets, I've got 4 oversized holes there. You can do safety rivets as well. That way we have some really good support for this flap that's probably going to end up right where you carry it anyway. So hopefully we have a fighting chance of this thing not bending right there. Also, stabilizing seams. So you have on the face, again, asymmetrical frame. You have on the face C-channels. So look for those. And then you'll be able to stabilize the face on the frame. And then kind of like what we do sometimes with the cabezon signs and stuff, you'll have to stabilize that bottom flap there. So make sure that gets really, really done up good, nice and strong. Because again, if somebody does kind of want to lift it from this side, we don't want anything happening to this. The whole idea is they do not want to see a seam. So we want to make sure that's stable for that body filler. So when it goes vacation on San Bondo, it's going to be great. So anyway, so again, that's really it. Just pointing those out. There's not much else you got to do, really. We don't have any pucks or anything for the keyhole or anything like that. You just got to build this frame, and then you're going to build this frame, Lords it up nice and strong, and then should be out of your hair from that point. So for install, this guy here is actually 7 inches. It looks longer than it is, but it's actually only 7 inches. So really you just need an extendo bit, top and bottom, and you're just going to thread that needle. You're just going to slide this on there and then bonk it up against, and then you should have your holes line up with those tabs here. You can see that hole is going to line up with, I got pre-drilled holes in the frame right there and right there. So you should be able to just self-tap that top and bottom, and it should keep it from going anywhere. But again, this looks really long, but I'm pretty sure you guys have at least 6-inch extensions that'll get you in there. So that's it. Should be pretty simple for install. I have in the pocket itself, I believe the frame is 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom. So when you guys kind of center it up there, maybe even bring with you some 1x tubing or something. That'll help you guys sort of, because I know I talked to you about you guys are just going to use the frame to kind of center it and just hold it. So maybe bring some 1x with you, and then that'll help support the bottom frame off the bottom there. So, or the wall frame off the bottom. So otherwise, but I think that's it. Yeah, these guys here, grabbies, make sure those are good. Weld in these guys here. But otherwise, I think you're good to go. Rivet those on outside. Yep, I think that's it. So otherwise, if you have any questions, hit me up. Check